just going to wait and see who else joins in. Thank you. Well, good afternoon. I think we're going to go ahead and get started here. I know you probably don't want to stay all day, but you're interested in what's happening. So we're going to talk about what's new in imagineIS. There was a release last Thursday night, and all the information that you're going to see is from that release. So let's start with me being able to go to the next slide. There we go. So I'm Tammy Deering. I will be your facilitator, your moderator, if you will, talking about what's going on. With me today is Keith Rydell. He is working as my backup and is going to be answering all the questions and helps with the technical side of putting this on. Heather Stubbs is not here right now, but she hopefully will come in a little while. She just has another meeting, a lot going on here. Please remember, do not hesitate to ask a question. You can type in the question or the chat sections. Keith is watching those and will ask any questions, stop me if we need to answer something. If you prefer, you can raise your hand and we can unmute you and you can ask it over the phone. Whatever is most convenient and easiest for you to do. Please feel free to ask any question that you have, even if it's not specifically about the things that are going on here. I'm getting a blinking.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Interesting.
Hello. This is Tammy Deering. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, so I'm going to start over. I took it off of mute and thought we were going, but the system just told me it just started. For some reason, it was late getting started. Okay, so we are going to go over what's new in Imagine today, talk about all the items that were in the release that came out last Thursday. There were some really neat things that came out, and I think you're going to enjoy seeing them. I'm the facilitator, Tammy Deering. I will be showing you the system and the updates that are going on. I'm being assisted by Keith Rydell. He's doing the technical side of this, but he also is available to answer questions if you have anything. And Heather Stubbs is our project manager, and she's in another meeting right now, but will join us in a little while. Please remember to type in any question or chat in the question or chat section, any questions or comments that you might have. Keith, there's a little orange thing blinking like I have. It says, click to read your unread chat message.
Well, I sent a message asking if anyone
was
having issues hearing.
Okay, I just saw it and was confused.
You're good.
I'm easily distracted, as those of you who know me are well aware. But if you have a question, just type it into the question or the chat sections. Or if you prefer to ask your question live, we are more than happy to unmute you if you just raise your hand, and then you can ask your question over the phone. Don't restrict yourself to just questions about what went in this Thursday. If you're having any difficulties or problems in Imagine, you can go ahead and submit those, and we'll talk about them at the end of the webinar. Come on. For some reason, my computer is not wanting to change today. So what is on our agenda today? We have the ISP. We've simplified the phase. No longer will you have those 5 phases that you go through. We've simplified it like we have discovery, outcomes, etc. We also have the fetch has changed a little bit. Fetch permissions, things like that, and the provider signature block, some new updates there. Case notes. If you're a county that enters case notes, you now will have, or if you're someone who deals with case notes in Imagine, you will have administrative notes view. So you can view all of your or anyone else's administrative notes. If you're a QA, you can do other people's, but if you're just an SSA, you would only be able to view your own admin notes. We also have added a non-Medicaid case note view to the system so that you can see those case notes that fall into that category. So, and I'll explain what each of these mean. Reports, we have up the emergency contacts report. It's got more information on it and is easier to read. Discovery, a lot of you have had problems with the important twos and the important fours overlapping, or you have to format them in a certain way, and when they come up on ISP, they're all just one line, in other words, one graph. Now you will be able to put in returns and it will maintain that formatting. We're also going to talk about medication. Actually had two fields added. One is the dosage field, so that you can maintain a history of if the dosage is going up. Provider information that's coming in from SM or from other sources going to be more readily available to you. When you expect an outcome, that is now an alert to the supervisor, and the supervisor can allow the SSA to extend their own outcome. They have to agree to it first. We also have a couple of changes portal side, which are providers, and an agreement message and the path to community employment. There's been a change as to what they can see at. So let's start with ISP phasing. This, I think, is the most exciting thing that we've done. Everyone, including myself, have complained for a while, why do we have so many phases? Because most of us go straight through those. Well, the phases have been reduced for almost everybody to 3, which is draft, share, and publish. A draft case note is one that's inside the county, and only county board employees with the correct permissions can see it. Share is going to encompass quite a few other phases that we had, and then of course we have published. Review required is only applicable and will only come up if the SSA supervisor has set the review settings so that a particular SSA, the supervisor must review and approve the ISP before it goes to outside of the county board. Just to update you on what the phases now mean. Draft, that's only visible to the county board, as I said. Share, it is visible in the portal and available for agreement. Share now includes draft distributed, pending agreements. Both of those are included in the share. So the people in the portal can see the document, can see the ISP, and it will have the signature block ready for them to sign. Published, the ISP is published and saved in the individual's SharePoint folder. All right, I'm going to get out of this for a minute and go into oops, went to the wrong one. I guess it's fine. Okay. I am signed in right now as an SSA. I only have one person. They've recently changed changed us going to somewhere else, and we've lost a lot of our data. So Amy Corbett is one of my people, if you will, and what we're going to look at is her ISP. So I'm going to open her record. And then I can look at her ISP and see where it is in the document. Or where the document is in the system. Hers is on share. So once she gets all the information that she needs, the signatures and everything, she can go ahead and publish it. From this screen, the ISP management, you simply click on the square to open the ISP. Now, this individual is a pretend individual, so there are not multiple ISPs. However, if you have someone who's been in the system for a while, then you'll have all of their ISPs listed on that page. You can open any of the past ones that you need to. So this is the ISP. I have the correct service summary marked. I'm in share. The two things that I can do, I don't have review required for her, so it's automatically set up. I skipped review. If I reset this to internal, anytime I need to make a change, I can reset it to internal, which allows everyone to re-sign it if they need to. It'll go to draft. Internal means draft. When I phase it, this will turn to phase. So I'm going to go ahead and reset hers to internal. And oops. So let's let it process complete since I was clicking around. Come on, why are you doing this now? All right. So Amy's ISP was moved back to draft, as you can see. You still can change your approvals and your agreements needed. Even if you have the agreements needed at no, it's not going to go anywhere but share, just to warn you. It'll go from draft to share unless a review is needed. Nothing has changed in the ISP window. All the other information is the same. The only differences are, of course, we have the next phase button here that I can phase it directly from this screen and very easily. I don't have to wait and see a whole lot of different screens and go back to the front page, and I went directly to share. All right? I thought I had this. Sorry, I thought this SSA was set up to be reviewed. My bad. If a review is required, this will highlight, and the supervisor will receive a notification that there is an ISP to review. Just to show you. So this is where the ISP was sent for agreement. Okay, we had some notifications like you've seen before. Oops. The task. My alert. The extended is here, and I guess it hasn't had a chance to put up the ISP one yet. But it is telling me, oh, here it is. Jack Hanna is who, oh, I think I did him this morning. So Jack Hanna, his ISP was sent for team agreement. They was moved to share. Okay. Supervisor review, just to show you. If I open up one of my SSAs. So I'm going to open up an SSA from that screen. I can go to review settings. So what I do is, I don't know if you noticed, I can go back and show you. Anytime there's a blue link, you know you can click on it. So I have several places. Anytime I see it in blue, I can click it. My SSA's name is SSA Training. So I'm going to click on my SSA. This is our user information screen, which has who the case note manager is, who the manager is, and a lot of other information, your phone number, etc. If I, as the supervisor, click on the down arrow beside the name, I can now go to Supervisor Review Settings. Now, we already have this set up, so you do not add another one. That's a note, make a big note of that. If there is one existing, you need to modify the existing one. If you don't, you will receive a business error. Just double click on it. If I want to change it, I have ISP, I can have no notification telling me that the ISP's been moved. I can have a notification. I'm the supervisor, which would give me a notification on my front page saying that the ISP has been moved from draft into share. Or I can click review, which allows me as the supervisor to review this ISP before it goes beyond the county walls. I can do the same for discovery and outcome when they're moved, if I would like to. These are easily turned on and off. You just click and decide what you want and turn it on or off. So if I put this one on review, that's all I have to do. And then I can click Save and Close. Now this individual has those attached to them. So if my SSA is trying to phase an ISP, it's going to give her a notification. Yeah, wrong one. I've got two opened, and so sometimes it's hard for me to figure out exactly where I am. I have to see. All right, let me see if I can see who that is. Yes, this is the correct one. I have to either be Wonder Woman or Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is the supervisor. Wonder Woman is the SSA. But I have the information from the webinars over on the side, so it's kind of hard for me to see that. All right, so this SSA has that they are going to have to receive a notification, and they're going to have it reviewed. That's the only person I have, and I've already done hers a couple of times, and that's why I won't go through. All right. A couple of things. I don't know if you're using Fetch, but Fetch is really, really nice. And we've made some changes with the whole Fetch process and with try to see who I used. I think it was Jack Hanna. Yeah. All right. So Fetch now, what this is going to allow you to do is if you have a service that is going to be starting 90 days, up to 90 days from today's date, you can put that information in and allow the provider to have a signature block on the ISP. Now, to give you an example of what I mean, although you guys probably know anyway, if I have an individual who this summer has got to have some transportation to day camp, then, or to anything, but that is not going to start until, it's only going to be in the month of July. But I need to put them, as I'm building the ISP, I'll need to put them in. So if I'm building the ISP now, I can go ahead and put that service with the provider into Jack's service summary. So the service won't be starting until later, but I can still put it in. And it can appear on the ISP. Now, the situation is this, however. If it is more than 90 days, let's say that they're going to need transportation in August. Well, that is more than 90 days. So 91 days on, it will not automatically give them a signature block. You have to make sure that they are in your contacts as an assigned member. That's all it takes. So this is the fetch window, as many of you have seen. You've got your services. They're listed here, either with or without an outcome, just because these are training people. And I have them at the bottom. I've already fetched for this person. And you can see there are 7 here I fetched earlier today. But you as an SSA can go into an individual. I'm going back to the SSA real quick. The SSA cannot fetch unless you have the budget support or finance manager role added into your ID. But what you can do, you, of course, can put in your proposed services. This one's on draft. You can put in your proposed services. You can change the finance manager or any of that. So here are our proposed services. I have 5 services. Several of them are going to go to 22, and I do that because these are services that this individual is going to need forever. Some are less time because it's only going to go for the rest of this span, for example. And it starts the 25th. I go up and I click the CPT request. That's all I have to do. It's going to tell you that it's going to send a notification to the budget support person requesting a cost projection. Now, this is for counties who have other people doing the costing. Some counties, the SSAs, do this themselves, especially there's counties that do the MSS and CPT on their own, and then their supervisor does the approval. This notification has been sent to the assigned budget support specialist. As the budget support specialist, I can go in. Now, this is where I am. This is Lady Gaga. All right, so that has gone. Now, just so you know, the service summary, once you send it out of draft, this status reason goes to in review because it's in review by whoever your budget support specialist might be. All right, I'm going to go back as a supervisor. This particular user, Lady Gaga, has everything. She has powers for all of them. Which person did it? It was Jack. Was it Jack that I sent back? Sorry about that, guys. Oh, it was Amy Corbin. I did not know she was not one of theirs. I can fix her that real quick. We switch around between IDs so much here that it's sometimes hard to keep up with who you are and what you're doing. And I know you guys have that issue also, but for different reasons. So here she is. I don't know who her SSA is, but I'm going to put it to, oh wait, I'm under the, this is the other problem with having multiple roles. Let's see who her SSA is. Oh, I am her SSA. That was a silly thing. Okay. All right, so I've been moved her service summary to in review. This means the budget support specialist is going to have to go in and cost this. So now I'm the budget support specialist. I'm Lady Gaga. And there is my notification saying a cost projection is needed for Amy Corbett. I can just click right from here now. I do not have to open the alert or the notification. I can simply click on the service summary there and it brings me straight into the service summary. So I can see the information, I can see the services. If there's one of these that haven't been costed, I can cost that. Let's see if we've got the other one that hasn't been costed. Let's say there's a mistake on this one. I need to make a change. I can go in as the budget person. They're going to charge more since we first talked to them. Now, once I'm here as either the, now this can be the supervisor, the BSS, or the finance managers. Any of those people now have the opportunity, they can do the fetch. Now, what does fetch do? I'm sure you guys know this, but I want to go over it real briefly. When you have proposed services, they can be local or waiver, and someone has put services into the MSS CPT. So that costing that I did, I only had to do that because they were local, because I'm in the training environment. But if I was putting things into MSS CPT, I can do a fetch, and from MSS CPT, those services will come directly in. So the budget support specialist, the finance manager, and the supervisor can fetch. All three of them. Now the approval still has to be done by the finance manager or the supervisor, whoever's set up in that role. But the fetch services can be done right to here, okay? By the way, something else that's changed that's really cool is if the FM or BSS is working with somebody and the SSA has a service they forgot to put in, the BSS can actually put in services now on their own, okay? They can actually enter services. They don't have to wait. They can put it in for the SSAs. We're trying to stop a lot of that, the records going from role to role and person to person, making this as easy as possible for you to get the ISP out. So if I would go in, I can add a service, whatever I need to do can be added from here. Okay, now fetching, remember they have to go out and see what's happening, so that's going to take just a few minutes. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at case notes. We have a couple of changes to case notes that are really, really cool. The first is, and I'll go back to the PowerPoint to show you this one first from here. So there is the review settings. And this is the 90 days out signature block. This was actually done this morning. Notice the start date is until 6/3. However, he is appearing on the individual service plan because it is less than 90 days. There is a method, if you've got somebody that's is further than 90 days, 91 or further, please contact us because we can walk you through how to get their signature block on there, even though their service won't start for over 3 months. So we've done there's the fetch service, which we just did. So we're going to talk about case notes briefly. The first thing is that there is only one bill being generated. You no longer will have the less than and the greater than 26 units on the case note bill file. And EMBS will accept the one file. So when you upload it, it can be uploaded with greater than 26 and less than 26 or 25 and less. We also have added a couple of new views. There is a case note non-Medicaid. These are notes that are billable but non-Medicaid, or they are they're ready to cost, and well, those would be Medicaid if they're non-Medicaid that you get for part of the county board cost report. In either of those situations, but you can view these easily if you have the case note QA view. This is going to show me any non-medical processed case notes that I might have. And there are several other views available. And all you have to do to go to the views is I clicked on the down arrow there and I can go to a different view. So from here, I can go into case notes if I go to the right place. All right, it's going to switch to the county. So I could sample now. This means I have notes that need to be sampled. So if you're not a finance manager or the person that does your case notes, then you can do it from here. Active ready to review is the default. I can hit the down arrow and I can see all of these different ones. One of the one that's been done is the new one is case notes processed non-Medicaid. Oh, I thought I had some in there. I must have not processed them. Sorry about that. But they would appear right there. You can see we have the down arrow that shows it right there. Okay? So it's a new drop down. Okay. There is also a new drop down called My Admin Notes. This will allow you to see any notes that you have that that are just your particular admin notes. So I don't think I even showed you how to do that. Oh no, there it is. It's on. Just to show you the slide real quick. please forgive me if I'm a little out of it. We're getting ready to sell my house, and I've been cleaning out for weeks and weeks. So what this is, TCM billable case notes without Medicaid will no longer show in the active ready to review. They are going to be separate. Also removed from that dashboard for the SSA are the draft case note views, and they've created a new My Admin case note view. So what I can do is, I'm in my dashboard. This is a super user. Lady Gaga, like I said, has everything. So there's the caseload view. There is also I do that just out of habit. It's the SSA case note dashboard. So I only have one in draft, but what I can change is the drop down here. That's my draft. Okay. Case notes, those are system views. Under my case notes, this section, this shows me all of my case notes and where they're at. I can click on my case notes, and there should be a My Admin, and I'm not seeing it. I'm in training. I'm probably going to have to go to, for some reason this time, they did not set us up correctly. Training is not set. Yes, Keith?
I believe it's in UAT.
It's only in UAT?
Right.
All right. Give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to open many of you are aware that we have different instances of the system. UAT is a testing environment that we have that's for user acceptance testing. If you are a tester for DODD, like Letitia or some of those other people are, then you can come in and do this. You can see these different environments. All right. Oops, almost went to training again. So we're bringing up UAT just so I can show you that case note view. I hope they didn't clear all of this out, but it's still only under the My Case Notes though. This one has no case notes. But I can still show you. Is it on there now?
I don't see it.
Maybe it's not on there because I don't have any. But right here under My Case Notes will be, as you can see in the slide, there will be a My Admin. That way you can see those very easily and quickly. Okay? So you can see all of your admin. Sorry about that. I thought I tested all this, but like I said, craziness here too. Okay. I personally, this is one of the things that I really like. They have changed so that providers, you can see more information. When you are preparing an ISP for somebody, it's very simple now to be able to see the providers. Now I can be inside an individual and look at providers, or I can click on the Imagine and go to providers. What we have added, I want to make sure I'm in UAT. Let me not do this. Sorry. I don't want to do it in UAT because there's real information. But you will be able to see all of, oops, cuss. Well, did I kick her out somehow? No, there she is. I think I'm going too fast for my system. All right, so I'm going to go to Imagine, and I'm going to go to Providers. This is training, so these aren't necessarily real. If I want to see something about a particular provider, I'm going to find a local provider, that way I know. These are all ours. Let's go to Eastern Healthcare. Now, a couple of fields have been added. Number one, you have in this part your certification start date, end date, okay? Initial certification. You also have if there are any sanctions against them. This is the other really big important thing, the sanction status. I'm actually going to go ahead and go into a waiver provider because I believe that information is not proprietary. I'm just going to pick somebody. So this was their certification start date and their end date. If they were revoked or they're in some type of status, then they will show right here. So you can see this information very quickly. Just as an add-on to that, so you know, if you ever need to know if a provider can provide a certain service, if you look down at the bottom, these are the services that they are, well, this person's going to have all no's because they went out pretty much. So this one has personal assistance. You can see that they can do an IO or a level 1 waiver, they can do it. This often comes into play when you have someone you're trying to add a service for and they are self-pay. That is a separate certification that the provider must get. So if that's no there, if it won't let you put in the service or gives you an error message, come check the provider's information page. They have one just like everybody else, and it will tell you whether they are approved to offer that particular service as a self-pay. All right. I didn't even show you this one, but. So here is one I have on a slide that shows the names have been changed to protect the innocent. So best provider is certified through June. However, they are in suspension and revocation is in progress. This is exactly what you'll see on that screen. So you've got their current status, okay? You have their certificate start and end dates and whether they're certified, and then you have if they have any sanctions against them. This was something that a lot of counties had been asking for, and so that's why it was added in here. We also have a new emergency contact report. This report will allow anyone that runs it will see all of the individuals and the contacts for that are emergency contacts for that particular individual under that SSA. So I don't have an SSA with a whole lot of people right now because we took them all out, but have to see who I am. What happened to my picture went away. All right, from this dashboard, I click on the down view and I see SSA emergency contacts. This means you don't have to print a separate page for each individual. Either your supervisor, whoever is in charge, can print all of the individuals on one report for each SSA. Now, just to go a step further, if they are a supervisor, they can export that information into Excel, and then they can sort it by name, by individual's name, or any other thing they wanted to. But it would allow you to see all the information. I don't know why. I may not have too much information in here. Let's see. So this is the one that's already printed on there, so you can see. We have, if there is a primary number listed, then it'll be here. Now, something that is really important that we have added, occasionally we have a situation where a provider is also an emergency contact. If that is the case, in the past, they would not show up on the emergency contact reports. That has also been added. So other professionals, if Bruce Wayne is a doctor, a psychiatrist, whatever, they also were not showing up on the report, and now they are. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like I'm just rambling on and on and on. Well, at least you'll get credit for being here. But this report is by SSA, okay? So it's for each SSA that it can be done. All right. Medications have changed. We've upgraded medications so that you now can see the dosage. So instead of having to put the medication name with the dosage in it, we now can put the medication and you can put the dosage here. What this will allow is if you need to change the dosage, you can either change it here and keep the medication, or if you want a history of the dosage changes, you can go ahead and inactivate this one and enter a new one with a new date. In addition to the dosage information, you also have your med review on this. What that means is if you know that assessments do not have to be done every year unless it's a county rule. The state does not require an assessment every year. But you can go in and review the past assessments that you have for the individual, and the Med Review Performed will show up. So you can see when you performed the review for this medication, or it can be for the whole assessment. But that way you have your proof that you're doing your due diligence as an SSA. All right. I don't know why I just did that. It is definitely Monday. Extending an outcome. Now the alert is created for the supervisor, so they get the alert. And the supervisor has to allow, well, the supervisor can allow the SSA to change the date. So when I go in as an SSA and I want to change someone's date of their outcome, I'm going to go to Amy Corbett's outcomes, and I don't remember which one she has, but I'm on Wi-Fi in this room, and so it's a little bit slow, and I apologize for that. So I'm going to go to her outcome tab. She has 3 outcomes. 2 are on the ISP and 1 is in working draft. So if I need to change one of these to make it extend the dates, I'll try singing. Yep, this one goes to 2025, so that's not going to work. I wish they would show that on here. It would make it a lot easier. I think I changed all of hers to something different. All right, well, this one, if you needed an extension, you can always then what I could do is you as an SSA do the same thing that you've always done. You scroll down to extend the projected date. You request that the completion date be extended, and you save it. This will trigger a notification to your supervisor, okay? And her supervisor oops, wrong one. Oh, that's right. Okay. So this supervisor will receive a notification, if I can find it, may not have come in yet, that they're requesting a extension on an outcome. Make sure I did it right. You know what? I may not have done that right. But you will get a notification when the supervisor goes in to change it. I'm just going to go on into hers. I think the issue may be because I have too many roles on this. Too many ABs. Did I spell it wrong, or am I in the wrong instance? Sorry, I was in the wrong instance. The only way we can tell where we are is by the color at the top, and I didn't pay attention to the fact that I was in UAT and not okay. All right, so here is extending the outcome. It's not the one I had, but extending the outcome for the completion date. I do not have to open the alert to answer it. I can simply click on regarding right here and go straight to it. Now they want to extend. It ended 2/4/19. So they've requested an extension. So I will verify that I have looked at the action plan and it's been kept up, and I've looked at the learning logs and they can be, they were kept up, but I don't know what date the SSA wants to extend it to. So I click in this box and I say yes, and I save and close. Now the SSA can go in and change the date on Jack's outcome as desired, okay? And just to make this work really quickly, I'm going to do this. I don't think it'll trigger a SSA change. Let's see other. See, I have 2 SSA training people, so it's kind of hard to keep up with who's where. So I thought I was doing the same one, but I obviously screwed that one up too. All right, so I can go into the outcome now. And I am an SSA, and I can change the date to 2/4/2020, because we're going to use another year, okay? So that's all that has to happen with this individual, okay, for Jack. So SSAs can change their own. Now, the last part of this, anybody have any questions about what we talked about in Imagine? Because we're about to go to the portal. This is the provider's portal. Well, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the portal there. We have added in the path to community employment the section that's at the bottom of the individual's page that has all of the services checked will now show up. They also will be able to get a report right here from the, if they click in Discovery Results, they can get a report on the path to community employment. So everything you have on community employment will appear in here. In addition, if you'll remember, the last deployment in February, we took out the felt safe from any of the individuals' previous work. Those have been removed from this report for the providers also. All right, I believe, oops, that, come on, from current side. So questions, if anybody has questions or anything, we're ready to, can answer those. If not, I will be sending, we forgot, we didn't attach it to the webinar, so I will send this PowerPoint out to each of you so that you have it to review. All right, oops. All of our contact information is on there. There's Heather's phone number and email addresses and all of us. Again, I am Tamara Deering, and you can contact me here, or Keith Rydell is also with me, but any of us can answer your questions. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it. If you do think of any questions later, do not hesitate to email or call us. Have a good day, and enjoy the warm weather that's coming supposedly tomorrow. Thank you.